Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Friday, May 19th, 2023. And in this video, we're going to take another look. I say another because several months ago, I did a look into the FBI. And it's time for another look because there's some whistleblowers coming forward that are having a hard time presenting their evidence and information. Wonder why? Okay, I'm going to share a screen with you. As always, this screen share will go to a compilation that's on my Facebook page. You can go to it by clicking on the Facebook link that'll be in a video description box. That way I can share links and some information with you. It's by no means comprehensive. It's just a few things I gathered today in preparation for a tarot read about the FBI. 1 second. Okay, I thought this might be good to start with a meme. Fidelity, bravery, integrity is not a motto. It's a list of qualities targeted for persecution. All right, now let's take a look at some things that are happening. Jim Jordan, I have a msn.com link here, is trying to hold some hearings with the whistleblowers and giving them some protection. And he's getting a lot of pushback from Democratic members. And it's sad that both sides of the aisle should be interested in if there's corruption, if there is misdeeds going on, both sides should be interested in getting to the truth. Okay. This is 1 minute and 8 seconds. I've got a copy of a tweet here. One of the whistleblowers, Steve Friend, wants to clarify that he refused to accept a book advance. Okay, that he says he doesn't care about making a cent. His actions were apolitical, and he believed that the American people need to know how the FBI is weaponized against them. He further goes on to talk about how on April 22nd, they proposed, the FBI being they, proposed edits to his book. They wanted him to redact information about the very things where there is some misdeeds and accountability that's needed. Moving on down, this takes you to a judicialwatch.org whistleblower article that's very good. It'll take a few minutes for you to read, but it's well worth your time, mentioning that as these whistleblowers came forward, even though they're supposed to be protected by law, they are facing some consequences. They're losing their employment status. They're losing their clearances. It's nothing. The FBI should not be proud of its actions currently, in my opinion. Now, Mr. Musk on Twitter says, the FBI says it won't release January 6th surveillance video because it would show too many undercover government agents and informants. This is insane. How many were there? One of the replies down here says that just among the Secret Service agents, that's none of the other 3-letter agencies. That's not the FBI. That's not the CIA, which shouldn't even be operating within our borders anyway. And other agencies, but just Secret Service agents, they had 100 to 200. Okay, and so that's an interesting tweet and thread to be reading. Just thought I'd share that with you. Now, before we're done here, there's an interesting history available to you about the FBI history with this link. Please take a few minutes to look at it. The FBI was created by way of an executive order in 1908. For much of our history, we got along well without them. And almost from their inception, they have had scandal after scandal after scandal. And there's a listing here of them. So it's not a news site, it's something worth looking at. Okay, this link here. I've stated before, I'll state it again. I understand when there are events happening that could escalate, go south, or involve some sort of destruction of property or harm to people. I understand why law enforcement would want to have some agents infiltrated and there to report back and maybe put an end to something before it starts, to keep something from going south. But with the fact that the FBI has been proven to be involved and knew of some reports that claimed collusion, that they were false, but they still pushed them and even backed them and certified them. Time and again, the FBI, which again was created by an executive order, which means it can be absolved and dissolved by the same stroke of a pen. And I'm hoping once we get someone with some integrity into the executive office, that's exactly what will happen. That they'll be nullified and other more reputable branches will be of law enforcement and judicial actions will be empowered and able to absorb those members of any of these ranks who are still trying to stay with their oath of office. And their oath is to the Constitution. It is not to an agency. And one of the YouTube link that I had there, that whistleblower made that comment, and it struck me. He said, my oath was to the Constitution. God bless him. So we have these few whistleblowers who have had the cojones to come forward and keep coming forward to present evidence, to present information. And despite what's happening to make that difficult, they've stayed the course. So what I'd like to do is ask the universe about these whistleblowers that we are hearing and seeing in the news. I mean, there's more than the three that I know of that were slated to speak to Representative Jordan today. There is Steve Friend, the man that refused the advance for his book so that he wouldn't feel like he was obligated to include or exclude certain details. There was Garrett O'Boyle, who told us that his oath was to the Constitution. And another one that I don't know too much about, Marcus Allen, except that I do know that he is the gentleman that lost his clearances, even though he's a decorated vet and what have you, since the office didn't like his views and positions on certain current events. They didn't align with the popular narrative. Not that he ever espoused any sort of insurrection type activities or anything like that, but his views simply didn't quite align and he lost clearances over that. So let's see what's going to happen. First of all, I want to ask the universe, just these gentlemen, the current group, because I don't know the total number of whistleblowers who are coming forward to provide evidence about the FBI. I'd like it as a group, we'd like insights and information for the situation, the gentleman, and possible outcome of their testimony. And if some of those agents are female, then I apologize for saying gentlemen. So the agents that are coming forward and bravely being whistleblowers, can we have some insights and information about the veracity of their information and possible outcome as a result of it? And to make sure there's no loops, let's say for this current timeline that we are on. Let's see what the universe has to tell us. So let's see what the universe has for us as far as insights and information about the FBI whistleblowers, their information, the veracity of the information, and possible outcome on this timeline we're on. Okay, our first card is the Ten of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands. Lots of wands. Okay, then we have the Eight of Wands, the Chariot, Three of Cups, Page of Wands, another Wands, and Two of Cups. Okay, I'm going to give you an overview of what the cards seem to be saying, and then I'll explain what elements of the cards lead me to say that. We're going to look at a few other cards too and see if there's additional insights. First of all, the suit of wands, which really showed up a lot in this. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 7 cards are wands. The neat thing about wands, yes, those are actions and events that are happening, but it also symbolizes a desire to take risks in order to make things happen. So these gentlemen involved, or females, if there's any lady agents who came forward, they have a desire to see some change happening. Okay, I'm not getting any insights or nudges that their intent was anything but honorable. The Chariot is the younger version of the Emperor. It's showing up in the present situation here. And the Emperor often shows up when there's moves and changes happening. So their desires to make some change happen, it looks like it is going to happen. There will be some celebrating as a result of that. There's going to be a cleanup within the FBI, if not eventually a complete disbanding of it, and redistributing those agents who have integrity into other similar law enforcement agencies. That's what I'm getting from that overview. Okay, again, I've already touched a little bit about what the wands are, being willing to take risks to affect change. And often the Knight of Wands can be one of my white hat cards. The Page of Wands also is a white hat card for me too. And when the Page shows up, he's a cautious optimism. So we can be cautiously optimistic that, first of all, the testimony they're giving is valid, that it will be heeded, and that there will be some changes as a result of that. Okay, got a card here with the Two of Cups giving us a little more insight about that, where we said we may be able to celebrate some changes moving forward, that there's going to be some changes and they'll be agreed upon by those involved, whether they're happy about the changes or not. Let's get a few other cards and see what's going on here. We've got some major arcana starting to show up. We have the Strength card and the King of Wands, another Wands card. King of Wands is about vision, leadership, and honor. Currently, honor isn't something that would be embodied by the FBI agency, but certain of their agents, absolutely, some honor. And moving forward, that's going to be a stronger element of that organization. Good, it should be. We have the Nine of Pentacles showing up, King of Swords showing up. Now, when the King of Swords shows up, he's about truth. So they are going to get to the bottom of some of these misdeeds. They're going to do some cleanup. It's going to, the Nine of Pentacles often talks about independence. So I think it's going to end up being easier for agents to come forward, for the cleanup to happen, for those rosters of compromised agents and administrative personnel within that agency to be gotten rid of. High time and good for them. So let's recap. We were asking about those agents that have come forward and offered to provide some testimony about things they've seen, heard, or been asked to be a party to as they worked within the ranks of the FBI. We asked about the veracity of that information they were providing and possible changes that might affect moving forward. We got the information, first of all, that they were willing to take risks to affect some change. So their hearts are definitely in the right place. Absolutely. We got information from the cards that moving forward, there would be some moves going on and some changes that could be celebrated. The Page of Wands showed up as an insight card, which is a page of cautious optimism and truth. We also had the King of Wands showing up, again, a card of honor and truth. So it looks like until that agency is absorbed into others, which I would like to make manifest, there is going to be some cleanup. They're not going to be able to skate out of this. And please take a few minutes to look at that link I had showing you some of the scandals I've been involved with. We tend to have a very short memory. It's been programmed into us to not take long views on things. But we need to look at this agency from its inception, at the number of scandals and misdeeds that it has been involved with, and make some good informed decisions about whether we want to even have this be part of our future moving forward. All right. I understand until our world makes more changes, we do need law enforcement. And I think what we need is law enforcement that is apolitical. Right now, they're very partisan in their politics, and it's always a partisan one way. There's not even a balance, a give and take to it. So we need law enforcement that is not two-tiered, because right now it's two-tiered. There's a system for us, and there's a system for people that matter, the elites, and that needs to be done away with. And I want law enforcement to work with integrity and be proud of what they do. Not what I see is too many law enforcement, they're defensive about what they do. They feel justified when they don't act with integrity. And I'd like them to get that great feeling of knowing they've acted with honor in situations and integrity, because it's an unbeatable feeling. And I hope more of them get to enjoy that feeling as a regular part of their duties and career moving forward. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time, attention, and viewership. And until next time, I wish you love and light and everything bright. Good night.